Hi everyone, my name is Ann and welcome to my channel, Torch Paste. I'm so glad that you're here. I've had many people reach out to me and say, hey Ann, can I use my Cricut? Can I use the Oramask 813 on wood with torch paste? And so I'm here today to demonstrate that yes, you can. You absolutely can. So come on down, join me here. We're going to go ahead and apply a thin layer of our torch paste. So let me just grab a little bit right here. A little bit goes a long way. And you want to make sure that you are using a thin layer. And by thin, I mean really, really, really thin. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to add a dollop. And I'm taking my squeegee and I am just going to pass the gel right through our openings. I'm making sure I'm pressing down. I made sure that the vinyl was down securely. So I always want to start with a secure vinyl, right? And so that you have less bleeding underneath the stencil. We're going to call this a stencil, that's for sure. All right, so just making sure that I'm getting all the areas. The torch paste is now an orange color. Originally it was clear, but there was a high customer demand for adding just a little bit of color so that you can see where you have applied the paste. And you know what, guys? That was a fantastic recommendation. So we took it to our team and we got to working and we came up with this. So it just adds a slight color to it so that you can see where it's been applied. And you can see I am scraping off all the excess. So there is such a very fine, thin layer now. So just take the time to remove the excess, put it right back into the jar for your next project. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to allow it to dry for 2 minutes. And by dry, I mean it's absorbing into the wood and drying at the same time, especially working with the Cricut vinyl. Again, this is the 813. Before you weed it, you're going to want to allow it to dry so that you can have nice crisp lines. But for the majority of this part, I can pull it right up and then just leave it. So let's go ahead and do that for you. All right, so you can tell, you can see I really applied it very well onto the surface. Can you guys see that? I've got a couple of different cameras so that you can see, hopefully, you can see the project really well. So we're just going to pull the majority off of it, putting my arm right in the way. Okay, so you just want to be careful. And then these little tiny pieces, you're just going to allow the paste to absorb, to dry, and then you can take your tool and remove all the small bits. I think I can remove a little bit more, so let's see what I can do. And again, just let it dry. This is on there really well. Sometimes I have good luck and it sticks really well, and then other times not so much, but today it's working fantastic. Wow. There we go. So yes, you can see that the Oramask 813 works very well. And this is a craft wood surface that I picked up. I think this one came from Walmart. So there we go. I don't have my tools. You would think I'd have my tools with me, but I don't. So we're going to work with what we got, just like that. So you guys can you see that it's just a very, very light, thin layer, and it's a very light orange, but you can tell that you can see where it has applied. It's been applied through all of the areas. And we're just going to go ahead and allow this to dry for a little while, and then we'll come back. We will remove everything, and then we'll show you how well it burns on this craft wood that we have. All right, stay tuned. All right, friends, it has dried, and now I am just going to take my, just got a little pair of tweezers, and we're going to come and we're going to clean out all the vinyl. All right, we're almost done with the weeding process. Just a few more pieces. Let's make short work out of this. You guys are welcome to join us on Facebook, and we have various social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and I may have forgotten one, but welcome. Come on over and join us on our social networks and share your projects with us. We'd love to see you, and pretty soon I'm going to be promoting at least once a month a business that's using the chalk paste product, so you don't want to miss that. And so come along and join us. If you haven't tried the product, torchpaste.com is where you can pick it up and have all the great instructions. Okay, so we are all set here. It's dry. We're going to take our heat gun. Let's unwrap it. Let's take our heat gun. We're going to warm it up a little bit. The heat gun that I'm using is an 1800 watt Seek 1 heat gun. You do need a heat gun. It has to get hot enough to have the burn come to life. So a hair dryer, like a regular hair dryer, won't work, or a craft gun won't work either. So it has to be a heat gun. And you can control the temperature that you put the heat gun at. Now, I used to start mine at 400, and that would start the burning process, but it would take a little bit longer. So I turned up the heat, and now it doesn't take very long at all. So I want you to play with that. You are in control of how quickly it burns and what temperature you set it at. So let's go ahead and start this process. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the entire surface slowly, and I'm warming it up. That's what I like to do, is just to warm up the surface. And while I'm warming up the surface, my heat gun is warming up also. You've got to allow time for your heat gun to come to temperature and start being able to burn. And so here we go. It's already starting. Can you guys see that? Here, let me try to move that out of your way. Now, with the craft wood, my friends, it is a very soft wood. So you'll notice that I'm about 4 or 5 inches away from the surface. When I'm using hardwoods, I'm closer to the surface. So just play with it and see what works for you, what you like, how you like the burn to come out, because you are in control. The longer that you hold the heat gun over there, over the paste, the darker it will burn. Can you see that gradient right there? So if I just wanted a light burn, that would be a light burn. If I wanted it to be dark, I would just hold the heat gun over there a little bit longer. Can you see the difference? There you go. Just like that. So my friends, yes, you can use your Cricut. Use your imagination on all the wonderful finds that you can do. It's going to be amazing. I think you really are going to love it. And could you do me a favor? Why don't you go ahead and tag or share this video with some of your Cricut friends. I would love to have them come on over and take a look at what this innovative product can do. I have just received the patent pending, so I'm very excited to share it with the Cricut community. Oh, I think you guys are going to love it. All right, so I want to make sure I'm going over the areas, if I can see that it's a little bit orange, then I know that the torch paste hasn't burnt the entire way. So there, my friends, we are done. Now, your heat gun is going to be hot, especially this metal part. So please be careful when you're using it, and when you set it aside, make sure that it's in an area where it's safe and it's not going to burn anything. So this is our finished product. It is burnt right into the wood. As a matter of fact, it smells like a campfire in here. And I love the smell of that wood. Do you guys like it too? So there it is. I'm going to show you right here. Look at that. And then I'm going to show you this way. Now, this is burned right in there. The surface is still warm. I want you to know that that is still, actually, it's quite hot. But I want to show you, I have just a paper towel, a dry paper towel. It has to be dry, but you're going to see that it's not coming off. Look at that. It is not coming off. It's burnt right into the wood. So this is what I recommend that you guys do, is just take a dry paper towel or a dry cloth, not water, because then it would just smudge it if it's wet. And you're just going to wipe away the residue, because there will be some residue. Can you see? It's just a little bit black. And now what you have is a surface, and you can see if there are some spots that are a little bit orange, then I want you to go ahead and reburn it, or if you like the look of it, leave it just as is. There are some areas down here that are a little bit orange, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my heat gun again. Whoop. And I'm going to reburn those areas. And I got to make sure that I'm holding up far enough, because it's a very soft wood and it burns really fast. And I don't necessarily want the entire surface burned. I just want the design. So there we are. So there's just a couple of areas that I needed to reburn. And then, okay, and so now, my friends, it is complete. Now, you can finish this with stain. You can finish it with wax. Stay tuned, and I'm going to decide after it cools down what I'm going to work with. Are we going to work with stain, or are we going to work with wax? I don't know. Stick around and see.